Hi folks. This is probably attempt number God knows how many of trying to do this video to try and get thoughts straight in my own head and um, to put something concise out there. Just really in relevance to the Zara Pythian and Victor Mark situation, or Zara and Victor Mark as they are now, obviously, because they are married. And where they had been charged and now convicted of indecent assault on 14 counts each, with a 13-year-old girl, and Vic charged and convicted with a separate 4 counts on a different girl. At the time of doing this video, now the early hours of Thursday morning. They won't get sentenced until Monday morning, so I don't know. I mean, obviously they're going to get a custodial sentence, and I would, given the amount of charges and severity, it's unlikely to be single figures. But yeah, I'm not a judge. I don't know. Just from reading, what others have got, but that's so I'm putting this out there because I know people sort of know that I know them vaguely, and also that other people have been asking me for a sort of comments and stuff, and had been contacted by sort of sock puppet news accounts, trying to sort of see if I knew anything. I mean, I don't particularly know why, because I didn't really know them that well. I got to know them from sort of around about 10, 12 years back when I used to write for Combat Fighters magazines here in the UK. But I used to do the wrestling coverage for the magazines. Never really got that much involved in the martial arts side of stuff. Although I did also used to do the martial arts show at the NEC with them, and would help out, sort of whether we work in the central stand or whatever was needed, basically. She was a big part of that. Her star was on the rise at the time. She was an extremely good martial artist, very talented, as obviously was Vic. And she was starting to make a name for herself by getting parts in sort of TV and film and stuff, whether it be behind the scenes doing stunts or, getting the odd appearance here or there and stuff. Obviously, very attractive lady, so very easy for the magazine to promote and sort of ride her coattails as she sort of rode the magazine's coattails, because obviously got a little exposure out there. Obviously, when the magazines folded circa 2012, it's a long story behind that, but it's probably one best not sort of repeated either. Less lots of really fancies a lawsuit somewhere on the line, but yeah, that could be a whole YouTube series on its own. Never mind just a video. But anyway, when that sort of folded, used to stay in touch vaguely on YouTube. Not YouTube, was on YouTube. So on Facebook, we'd post the odd comment or message here or there. Whether it just be to sort of cheer them on for some good news or troll them for a bit of a laugh, not as in sort of serious trolling, but sort of post like a funny comment on them, on a photo or something here or there. So very, so I knew them as well as I know anybody that I know on Facebook. We'll probably sort of comment 4 or 5 times a year, one way or the other. So that's as much as I actually knew them. She was always very, very good, as well as on the martial arts in terms of personality, especially with the kids. She seemed to have a real affinity in being able to sort of teach the kids. again, part of the background to the story for the conviction is it was sort of put out there that she jointly with Vic sort of plied a 13-year-old girl with alcohol and sort of dared her or abducted her, however you want to, into sexual relations with Vic, and then going on subsequent occasions with her and Vic jointly, with the girl sort of copying whatever Zara did. Now, that was the one sort of thing that, from what they'd sort of said, I could believe in, that I could see how much a 13-year-old girl would look up to Zara and idolise her. Because she'd have everything going for her. She got the look, she got the fame, she got the success. Being one of her students, that there's that mindset that, they automatically sort of look up to and sort of idolise, their instructors anyway. That's always a mindset sort of drilled into, any sort of student from any martial arts, place. That's sort of like an automatic sort of thing. The fact that you're trusting somebody to teach you, you're looking up to them, whether consciously or subconsciously anyway. They are more knowledgeable than you, you know better than them, and they know better than you. Freudian sleep. That was the one thing that, say at the time, it was an absolute shocker and seemed an unbelievable thing. But yeah, like I say, that was the one sort of thing from the evidence that was given out that I could sort of clearly sort of think, well, yeah, I could very well see a 13-year-old girl being very easily led into a situation, especially if she was vulnerable in terms of a poor home life. Having that much attention poured on her. Let's just face it, it's grooming, isn't it? That is the very definition of grooming. And I'm going to say something, and it's probably not smart to, but anyway, I'm going to say it anyway, I don't care. I kind of get the feeling that Zara was possibly sort of groomed herself to a degree. Bear in mind, okay, she's 36 now. Officially, because Vic's 23 years older than her, officially they sort of got together when Vic left his then girlfriend or wife or whatever she was, I'm not going to mention her name, to be with Zara because they were caught out having an affair when she was his pupil. And officially that would have been when she was around about 18, 19. I suspect that that's probably been going on for longer than that. I'm not necessarily going to say that was before she was 16, because it probably wasn't. But again, even if that wasn't until she was after 16, how much effort had gone into catching her eye, grooming, whatever you want to turn it. To sort of get there. His own admission, he'd always said he was a very flirty guy and was very near the knuckle. He reckons, I was only ever just banter and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. But, yeah, so you just never know what goes on behind closed doors, do you? I mean, it's come out that, they were sort of swingers and stuff, and all the rest of it, which they sort of freely admit to. He admitted that, he'd filmed Zara with other men and stuff and blah, 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 which, as long as it's all legal and above board and everyone's happy, then fine, just, as like I say, you just don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But yeah, it's just the wider impact of all this. It's just such a shame. Obviously, the two girls that were involved, although they're both sort of adults now, this is something that's going to stay with them, for the rest of their lives. Obviously, Zara and Vic, I don't know how long they're going to go down for. My guess is probably 10 years. I'd be surprised if it's less. Only because of not just because of the severity of the charges, but the amount of them. It shows it's not just like a one-off thing that happened. It shows, a continual exploitation and grooming of a child. No matter how willing a participant that child would or wouldn't have been at the time, they were still the adults. Doubly so Vic, who would have been in his mid-40s at the time. He definitely should know better, and especially being an instructor and obviously, working with the kids all the time, he should triply know better. So there's no way, they can sort of say, oh, well, it's one of those things that happened. There's obviously a clear intent there. So their life's over pretty much. Because even when they sort of back out, no one's going to want to touch them in the martial arts world. And what else are they going to do? Like I say, no one's going to want to touch them in the TV, film industry, all the rest of it. Sad. It's also sad because I know a lot of Vic's got a daughter. I'm not going to mention her name. She's a young adult now herself. She's known obviously Zara as well as Vic all her life. Absolutely loved them to bits. And now she's got to find all this out, and now her world comes crashing down for no reason of her own. Obviously, there's the businesses because they've got the gyms, the PBA gyms. So whether those can stay open after this, especially because you say there was like the PBA, which is Personal Best Academy, and then they also did a special, which was the PBA Kids, which is just for kids to get kids into martial arts, which is at the time everybody thought, including myself, was a brilliant thing because they were seen to do some really, really great things. And again, all these things that supposedly took place before I knew them anyway. And there's been no accusations of anything since then. So I'm not implying that, that these things have been set up with any other intent other than teaching people, and especially kids, martial arts. But the problem's going to be is, how many parents out there now are going to be worried about that? Are going to be thinking, is little Timmy or little Sarah safe? Is the class they go into, have they got anybody like that there, that's got ulterior motives for being, around kids? Because there is a degree of physical contact. There's no two ways about it. You can't instruct people, whether they be kids or adults, in martial arts without some degree of physical contact. That's just how it is. So I'm sure there's going to be some paranoid parents out there now who might sort of think twice about letting the kids do, martial arts or similar. And that's just a shame for everybody all involved, Nobody, the kids that could be possibly missing out on something that could help them in a lot of ways. Yeah, I just basically wanted to sort of put this out there to sort of, obviously, to sort of clarify how I knew them, what I knew, or what I didn't know. And just basically draw a line into this and move on, like I say, because I always thought they were good people. Um, you know, uh, it is a bit of it's just such a total shocker that somebody you sort of knew could, do this. Um, you know, especially, I don't know, it always seems worse when there's a woman involved, especially exploiting another female. You sort of, I don't know, you think, that they would look out for each of them all. You know what I mean? But then this is where my thinking of, to a degree, she's been sort of groomed herself to a degree. So her mindset is, that that's perfectly fine. Because, he's got her into sort of swinging, um, you know, sleeping with other men so he can video it so they can recreate their favourite porn scenes, apparently. Because I'm sorry, for somebody 23 years older than her, I seriously doubt somebody at the age of sort of like 18 is going to wake up one day and think, oh, let's get all into this. It's obviously something that's come from him. So you have to sort of think there's a degree of, because she idolised him. That is definitely true. There are a couple that you wouldn't have put together on paper if you'd sort of seen them, in terms of sort of looks and personality, which is very shallow, I know, but that's how the world works, isn't it? Let's just be honest with you. But she was always desperate to be a star and to be famous, whether that be martial arts or more so in, sorry, I'm going to be croaky now, need a drink, whether that be, in whatever medium. But obviously Vic had been around a bit and had done TV and film and stunt work and was able to get, her work in that. So again, there's that bit of sort of starstruck, he's an instructor, pays all that attention for how many years. Then when they get together, he can offer her this, he can offer her that. And, I'm sure that's going to be an unpopular view with some people that, because she's now been convicted, that, she's not, I don't know, it's a weird, people are going to think, I'm some kind of, some kind of mark for her or something. I'm not, I'm really not. I don't know, I just think there's just so much tragedy here. There really is. But I just hope that at least, so from Monday, once they've got the sentences, everybody can move on. They'll do their time, they'll come out, hopefully they'll learn the lesson and rebuild their lives whichever way they can. The poor girls that have, been the ones that were originally suffered, I'm hoping now this will give them some kind of closure, some kind of justice, and hopefully give them the platform to move forward in their lives, and not let it define them. And like I say, to the, family, friends, and the wider community, I hope that this doesn't, wreck things for them. But obviously there is going to be some kind of fallout. But so anyway, I've rambled on for far too long, far longer than I intended. But so this was as much to get thoughts straight in my own head as anything else. Because after sort of knowing somebody for sort of 10 or 12 years, no matter how sort of vaguely, it's weird. It's kind of sort of, and the best I can equate it to is like, it's like, finding out like, a work colleague or an ex-work colleague is, I don't know, done something really bad, or some distant relative or something, It's just the fact that you know them to a degree. I mean, it turns out you never really knew them. So, anyway, it's one of them, I'm afraid, folks. You all stay safe, look after yourselves, and be seeing you.